Jada Emperor checking in once again. Y'all already know what time it is. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Scorpio. What's up with it, Scorpio? Welcome. What does Scorpio need to know for today? I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Coming back with another general. Things are starting to change very quickly. It's saying pick up the pace, pick up the speed, make a decision. When it comes to manifesting, you need to know exactly how much. You need to be able to envision the exact thing. It don't mean it's going to show up the exact way because you may miss some certain things. You may forget. When it comes to being a creator, a god of your own reality, Scorpio, this is how you do it. You envision it first. You speak it into existence. You bring it down. You add some weight to it, and then it's solidified. Ooh, money coming in from Scorpio. Okay. Once again, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. What does Scorpio need to know for today? Take all this as the pre-message up until the point to where I actually pull it. As I get into the energy, I'm feeling a sharp pain in my abdominal. I was fasting today. That could be the reason, but I've been fasting all day. Now all of a sudden it's just a sharp pain. Almost like when you overeat and then you try to exercise. Have y'all ever felt that before? Now I can handle it, but I'm just in tune with my body. So I like to relate and be transparent. Even though I got shades on. You know we got the hater blockers on. But there goes that energy for Scorpio. Yeah, the judgment. Scorpio can represent the judgment card. Or the judgment card can represent Scorpio. My bad. My bad, had to get it right. Along with the tower, which represents that devil energy or a sudden change. Yeah, tower can represent devil. Or Capricorn, shall I say. Let's go ahead and pull it for Scorpio. The first card out was the Two of Swords. Making peace with a situation. When you make peace with situations, you can continue forward. So when you give it your grace, your blessings, and peace, and now you can continue forward on your path because you have a certain path that you should be on. Matter of fact, you're already on it. You're already in alignment. Where's this going? Where's this going? We don't know. Take the step. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Ask the question and it will be answered. Notice how this person is taking steps while looking back. Where is she headed? We don't know. She's headed up into the heavens and up above and onto higher frequency. She's taking the higher road. The Ace of Wands. A lot of fire energy for you, Scorpio. So you could have fire in your chart. You could have air in your chart. It don't matter. It really don't matter. But that's the energy. That fire and that air. You combining those elements, co-creating with the universe. You putting it down. All right, we got that Two of Wands, or it ain't the swords, it's the wands. It says dominion. Stand on business, hold your position, don't move, don't fold, don't bend. This is like a statue, something that's solidified. So you standing on business like a statue. You standing right where you need to be. You right where you need to be at. Wherever you at, you right where you need to be at this specific time. If this is resonating, hit that like. Missed opportunity though. See, I'm not finna cap to you now. What is the missed opportunity for? Keep in mind it's the Eight of Cups. So it's something to where you miss an opportunity, you miss a deadline, you show up and the door's closed. You didn't make the cut. Missed opportunity. So why? You gotta be patient. You weren't patient enough. Sometimes when you miss it the first time, it's just a practice run. And then you get in the real run and you really be ready. And then when you get in the real run, you'll be able to say, I remember my practice run. Whenever I did like this, I'm going to just do it like this now. Because it's what I learned from the first time when I really fucked up. Hello. Am I preaching or am I preaching? We got that star card. Learning this lesson, taking your time, grasping this, what I just explained, is how you're going to get the star. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. Straight up. Four of Cups, luxury. So you had the Lord, the God. Whatever. So you're protected. You already know that, right? Okay, good. Bingo, boom. Then they want you to go on a journey. They want you to travel. They want you to relocate, or they want you to move on emotionally. Because whatever you're caught up on, God got bigger plans. Universe has something different in mind. You're worried though. What are you worried about? Health. So if you're worried about a health situation, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Forgive me in advance. Bless me in advance. Excuse me in advance if I do. Why am I feeling all this? Because I'm channeling. Still feel that pain in my stomach. But I felt the sneeze coming out. So when it comes to Scorpio and you're worried about your health, you're worried about something that's going on, what may be going on? We're going to clarify, but we have to pull the rest of the cards to see what is the advice for Scorpio. The journalist, you need to speak your truth. Sometimes when you hold on to resentment, sometimes when you don't say I love you, sometimes when you don't say how you really feel, you hang on to that. It turns into resentment, but then it dries up like old tree bark. You ever cut a tree off and then the wood just laid there and it died and it shriveled up and just got hard? And you can use it for wood or coal or something like that. For wood fire, it's no good. It's not alive anymore. So it's like if you don't use it, you will lose it. Same with your heart. If you don't express it, it turns into not only an illness, but if you're having illnesses, it's because of the resentment or the holding on to stuff that you really wanted to say that you didn't say. Things that you have to get out this lifetime. Things that may need to be expressed. You know, sometimes you got to say I love you. Sometimes you got to say I forgive you. Sometimes you got to say I miss you. This could be somebody saying it to you, but this is what's coming out in the cards. There's a conversation that needs to be had. There's a need to connect to the ancestors. Something. They calling you. What is it? See what I'm saying? They go to activists. See, no. Heavy emphasis on the ancestors now. Heavy emphasis on the ancestors now. They always around and they always watching. But they got something to say, or you got something to say. You need to say something. You need to initiate something. There's a conversation. They trying to reach out. They calling you. Have you been ignoring your calling? Scorpio. Bear with me now. I write slow and I write sloppy, but I don't care because I'm the only one who's gonna see this handwriting. Have you been ignoring your calling? Why is my left hand itching? I hope I'm finna get paid. Let me go ahead and scratch that on some wood. Anyways, have you been ignoring your calling? Now, that ain't for everybody. Others of you, it's the first storyline I had originally said. Rewind it. Matter of fact, I'll repeat it for you. Just for the hell of it. If you're worried about a health situation, it's because you ain't speaking your truth. You ain't saying what needs to be said. You ain't connecting to the ancestors. You haven't initiated some. When you hang on to these things that need to be said, it creates a problem in your gut. You know, there's chakras. I don't know nothing about the chakras, but I'm finna tell you something. When you hang on to certain things and you don't say what needs to be said and you keep it balled up in you, that's what it is. It's balled up in you. When it's balled up in you, you keep it in you and you die with that. I'm using the wrong words because people get triggered based off the words I use. When you transition, that's why I wear the shades, man. Because I'm like, shit. Okay, well, y'all want it some type of way, so I gotta hit it with my weight too. So make a compromise. Be willing to meet them in the middle. Write a letter. Send it. You know what I mean? Like, in any way possible, say what needs to be said. But once you say it, let it go. So that's what I'm saying. It's two different storylines for Scorpio. So Queen of Swords. Ooh, that's the let it go part. That's the cut it off part. That's the moving on part. The Queen of Swords. When the Queen of Swords come out, you know what that means. Cut it off and let it go. The Seducer. There's something better out there for you, or you can get what you want is what it's saying. You can get the desired outcome. You can heal this. You can fix this, or things will go your way. The Seducer. But you got to work your magic. It ain't just finna land in your lap now. It's an active spiritual warfare battle going on out here. Now, Scorpio. Now, we're going to pull that Christ deck out. Just because I mess with y'all big time. And we had a couple pop out, but that's way too many to read. You know what I'm saying? We'll go into a whole Bible study if I read that many. This ain't that. This ain't no Bible study. So yeah, the ancestors got much to say, or spirit has much to say, and we've been trying to contact you for a minute. Hello, have you been listening? Yeah, it's been a long time coming for Scorpio. Or you're trying to ignore something. You're trying to ignore the fact that you need love. You're trying to ignore the fact of a relationship. What are you ignoring? There's a need to speak the truth. The seducer came out as the last card. Now we finna pull that. Okay, the Christ dead card came out. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. What? Okay, Corinthians 13:13. 10:33 as I looked at the clock. I'm gonna read it one more time because it damn near didn't make sense to me. Let me show it to you once again so you can screenshot it, pause it, read it on your own. Your favorite reader's favorite reader. You dig what I'm saying? I'm not your average tarot reader around here. Real intuitive right here. Really in tune. It says, and now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. So what I'm thinking is saying is when you abide, have faith and hope, and then give charity, it's all one thing. It's all just charity. Damn, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that. There's a need to give, have hope, give, and cheer. Wow. Okay, let's move on for Scorpio. Say less. Let's move on. Let's keep it going. So that's why I said we can't sit down and read 2 or 3 scriptures because I'm gonna get lost in the sauce. You know, I'm really intrigued with that Bible. I'm really intrigued with that word. You know, I'm passionate about God and the Creator and the Most High. So when it comes to me, you know, I get wrapped up in the word. I like to read it multiple times, break down word for word. What does now mean? What does abideth mean? Look up the meaning of each word, break it down word for word, sentence for sentence, acronym, and then, you know, go back, highlight shit, and then you got to read the pre-existing text with it. It's crazy. A Virgo taught me that one. Crazy because it is a Virgo. So I was like, well, damn, this in the Bible don't make sense. And then the Virgo, she was like, well, see, you got to read what goes before that, and then it'll make sense in it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, don't just read it for, you know what I mean? Like, man, you getting deep, man. You getting deep. It gets real in the field, Scorpio. Have you been ignoring your calling? Then go to jadaemperor.com and book a session, and I'm fucking with you. I'm playing, but I'm dead ass though at the same time. Can you blame me? Shit. Can you blame me? Yes, I do readings for Scorpios too. What does Scorpio need to know dealing with each sign all the way from Aries to Pisces? It's time to make some head over heart decisions. Because once you locked in on somebody, you be locked in on somebody, Scorpio. You know, you really be committed for real. You ain't there to play with it. You ain't playing around now. You got a life to live. But you are also in alignment. You co-creating. Even if you by yourself, you're co-creating. You're in alignment. But you got to listen to your intuition or listen to what spirit or God is saying. All right, Scorpio, if you're dealing with an Aries, they're being honest and true. The Emperor card came out for Aries. So that's how I know it's in alignment. That's how I know they're being honest and true. Scorpio dealing with a Taurus. Expect disappointment at the family house or just bad news in general. Scorpio dealing with a Gemini. They don't want to fight. They want to throw in the swords. They're done. Throw in the towel. Quit. I give in. I give up. Scorpion dealing with a Cancer. They want to speak their truth, or you need to speak your truth towards them so they can get it through their fucking head. Scorpio dealing with a Leo, a mind, body, soul connection. Connect your mind, body, soul, intuition, higher self. The soul will travel through the heart. Scorpio dealing with a Virgo, cycle complete. Scorpio dealing with a Libra. They're spying on you. They're watching you. Vice versa. You're spying on them. You're watching them. Vice versa. Scorpio dealing with Scorpio. You got too much on your plate. You can't even handle whatever it is you're trying to do. So it's like, get organized. Scorpio dealing with a Sagittarius. They're trying to rebuild themselves behind the scenes. Scorpio dealing with the Capricorn. They're changing before your own eyes, or they're going through changes. Shit is changing. What is this world coming to? Scorpio dealing with an Aquarius. They're getting advice about other people from you, gossiping, thinking about you, talking about you to someone else, trying to get advice, vice versa. Scorpio dealing with the Pisces. I would leave this situation alone. 10 of Swords. Pain, affliction, sadness. It's the end of something and it's over with. Let's get a Rebel deck card. Okay, one thing about your reading is when I'm pulling cards, a lot of cards are jumbling out. So it's just letting me know, like, damn, like, the way so sometimes cards, it'll be like light. Your energy's kind of heavy. Like gravity is really taking its, like, okay, that was the one. It says get some fucking sleep. Okay, go ahead and get some rest. Pay attention to your dreams. It says you're being an ass because you're fucking tired. Face to pillow now. Oh, they want to visit you in your dreams. You dreaming, they dreaming about you, you dreaming about them. I don't know, Scorpio. If this resonated, hit that like. If you want me to pick up on your energy, comment. That's all I got for the sign of Scorpio. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.